Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has apologized for the collapse of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj statue at Maharashtra's Sindhudurg. While he was addressing a meeting at Palghar yesterday, he said that Shivaji was not just a king, but a figure revered and worshipped by all. He said, "I bow my head and apologize to all those who worship Shivaji. I know their sentiments are hurt." Now, while he made this statement, and of course, which has become a center of everyone's discussion, because apology is not something which people have really expected from Modi and which they have seen in the last 10 years. So this was some kind of an outlier yesterday. But why he had to do it is also understood. Maybe because of the electoral compulsions, he had to do it. But while he addressed the people with his apology, in the meanwhile, there is a criminal PIL which has been filed in the Bombay High Court, and this PIL has sought action against the PWD officials who are responsible for constructing the 40-feet statue. So we'll try and deal with 2-3 questions. First, PM Modi's apology. Does it indicate some kind of a hypocrisy because of the electoral compulsions in Maharashtra? And secondly, why is Prime Minister Modi not asking the leadership in Maharashtra to investigate this issue as to why this kind of a corruption took place? Because there are questions on the salty ingredients which were used as far as the construction of the statue was concerned, inadequately fitted nuts and bolts. So there are whole lots of questions, and also the money which was spent, a whopping 2.36 crore, which was spent on the statue. So all these are questions which need to be discussed. And is it really going to backfire on the BJP? Joining me now is Sanjay Jog, who's a veteran journalist from Maharashtra and a political commentator. Sanjay, thank you so much for joining. We have Vivek Deshpande, journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. And we have Pushpraj Deshpande, who is the author of the book called Bharat Jodo Yatra, works closely with the India Alliance and is also based at Kolhapur right now. Thank you so much, Pushpraj. And I'll begin with Sanjay Jog. Sanjay, how would you really see Modi's apology yesterday at Palghar? Does it reek of hypocrisy, and obviously for the electoral compulsions that he had to do it?
As you rightly said in the opening remark, undoubtedly it's a compulsion because of the upcoming assembly elections. Now I'll just take it to you just 2 months away. I mean, before, when there was a much of this thing claims by Mahayuti, basically BJP-led Mahayuti, that they will score 40 plus, 45 plus. Look at what happened. They were settled at 17. Now, all the time, they went on, targeting the Mahavikas Aghadi and India Bloc, saying that, quote unquote, the fake narrative of constitution change, which led to their debacle or a dismal performance. Now, that leave aside. Now, coming to this collapse of Chhatrapati Shivaji statue. This incident happened when, again, BJP wants to be in a driver's seat, although it's not. They went on repeating, and they are still repeating, Eknath Shinde is our leader. They are going to contest the election under his leadership. But this fall has come at a time when, the three parties have yet to settle on seat sharing talk. There is a one-upmanship which is going on. Mr. Shinde definitely has gone at a very definitely and higher level. And what he claims to be, because of his proximity with the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and the success that he has got, after 15 seats, he won 7. He said he is definitely in a position to call the shots, and he's not going to just go by whatever Mr. Fadnavis says. So a kind of a one-upmanship which is going on. On the other hand, Ajit Pawar is not at all settled down. Okay, he is in Mahayuti. All the time he goes on telling us that because of Vikas that he has joined Mahayuti, but his own Karyakartas and legislators and MPs are not sure at what point this Mahayuti will definitely accept them.
Okay.
Because
Sanjay, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to understand from you that this collapse of Shivaji's statue.
Okay. Now I'll come to that. Very interestingly.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Let's hear my question. What I'm wanting to ask you is that, is Shivaji's collapse, the collapse of the Shivaji statue, is it the Vinesh Fogart moment of Haryana? As what we are seeing, that was one moment which was, at the threshold, which was the tipping point, and this Shivaji's statue collapse is somewhat akin to what we are seeing in Haryana, the Vinesh Fogart moment. Is it something
100%.
Similar?
It is the point now, on which Mahayuti definitely on a sticky wicket. Secondly, they have went on of a defensive. In fact, on the other end, Mahavikas Agadi, even though Mahayuti goes on, telling us that it's a fractured kind of or a faction-ridden Mahavikas Agadi, but on the other hand, Mahavikas Agadi is targeting Mahayuti like anything on this issue. They clearly see this fall of Shivaji is definitely come to then quite handy in reaching out to the voters. Like it is, as you rightly said, it's like that so-called fake narrative. This will be another narrative which has definitely come quite handy for Mahavikas Agadi to corner Mahayuti. Secondly, as you rightly said, Uddhav Thackeray, Shiva Sena has been there. Basically, its growth is definitely looking at Chhatrapati Shivaji as an idol. So also, now Congress NCP has joined them. Look at the irony. Both of them were separate. Three of them have come together after 2019, and now they have really posed a kind of a threat to Mahayuti, which again, BJP is now saying that Shivaji, as Mr. Prime Minister said, he is not just a king, but it's a kind of a deity which is adored by him and others. Look at quite a change which has happened. So as you rightly said, the fall of Shivaji is going to be the major electoral plank for Mahavikas Agadi to take on Mahayuti. And even though, as this Mahavikas has been saying, even though you go on tendering apologies for seeking forgiveness, it's not going to come to their help. But in fact, Mahavikas Agadi is going to reach out to the voters, A, exposing the corruption, B, the nexus, quote unquote, the unholy nexus between the local politicians and the contractor and the sculptor. And the third, very interestingly, the manner in which, in which this entire construction took place, bypassing all the structural norms, the deviation of the norms with regard to the structures and the height and what, the Directorate of Cultural Affairs has come out clearly saying that the permission was given for just 6 feet while they have gone ahead with the 40 feet. So these all issues are going to definitely take it further to corner the Mahayuti in the coming days.
No, but Sanjay, just one quick question, and then I'll come to Pushparaj. That this technical committee which has been constituted now, is this technical committee going to look into all these aspects? That how an inexperienced artist could bag a tender. That is the first thing. Then several other issues which you pointed out, that the permission was given for about 5 or 6 feet, and then they built about a 35 feet statue. And now I think one of the leaders also spoke about a 100 feet statue. And every statement which is coming out from the Mahayuti, sounds in a complete disarray. Look at the statements coming from Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde. They are a joke on what they are talking about this statue, as if they don't know. Somebody is talking about the wind speed. Somebody is saying that then how would the Navy and the artist preempt that there will be a collapse of the statue. Now, what would you say to all these points that are coming from all these leaders?
Nilu, incidentally, there are two committees which have been formed, which I wrote about just since 2 days. One is the Joint Technical Committee, comprising the Navy and the structural engineers, IITs, and this other guys. Another is by the PWD Secretary. She is happened to be a very senior lady officer here, Additional Chief Secretary, Public Works Department. She is also heading one of the committees. As you rightly said, the Mahavikas is questioning them. Are they really going to be, like a cosmetic one, or are they really going to hit the issues that have been raised by a lot of the people and the critics? So as we have to wait on that. But one thing very interestingly, they have to reach out to the core issue, how this entire contract was given, why this guy was chosen who is less experienced. What we heard, because I stay in Thane, this guy comes from Kalyan, which is about some half an hour in a railway whatever trip. Can you believe it? This guy claimed to be a startup, and the way, because of quote unquote his proximity with the Mahayuti leaders, which I don't want to point now, because I don't want to have any aspersions against anybody.
Why not point out, Sanjay? Why not point out? Because there are several reports which say that Eknath Shinde's son, Dr. Shrikant, he had some proximity with that artist, and that artist himself in few interviews has said that he's never had the experience of building statues which are more than 3 or 4 feet tall. So how come this got the tender?
Absolutely, more than that, as you rightly said, his proximity with Shrikant Shinde. But in one of the interviews to him, he gave the Sanatan, the magazine. that is, what they are propagating. So he gives an interview to them, saying that, how he had come out with this idea in a limited time, how he has gone ahead with that using some 3D technology and whatnot. It turned out to be just a bogus and a fake. So as you rightly said, we expect as a journalist as well as an outsider and this opposition that these two committees should go to this deep and try to find out and fix the responsibility. It should not be just a cosmetic one.
Right. All right. Now let me come to Pushpraj. Pushpraj, how hopeful are you about this technical committee, which will or will not look into all these aspects which we have been discussed? And do you think that this is a complete Modi surrender before the opposition? Modi apologizing, and of course, all these points which we have been discussing as far as the investigation is concerned. So, how would you look at this whole issue in entirety?
Hi, Niluji. Thank you for having me on your show. And of course, a very good afternoon to my panelists. See, for your viewers, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is a deeply emotive issue in Maharashtra because he's not just tied to Maharashtra's political independence, freedom, but also cultural and social emancipation. So the fact is that for many people, not just Hindus, Muslims, Dalits, OBCs, Adivasis, Dhangars, denotified tribes, Shivaji Maharaj is a icon that transcends politics. So the fact of the matter is, what our previous learned panelists said, Prime Minister Modi is reading the tea leaves correctly, knowing that this is not just an electorally radioactive issue, but it is also a culturally explosive one. So that's why Prime Minister Modi has to apologize. But if you see the apology, it was bereft of any kind of regret or remorse. It was actually very abrasive, angry, and very arrogant. I mean, I don't think it seemed like an apology. It seemed more like a performance. And I don't think it is going to assuage the legitimate herd sentiments of Maharashtra's Asmita and Marathi Manus's identity. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, why would Prime Minister Modi pretend to chastise the Mahayuti government and pretend to be this neutral umpire as if he has done no mistake? Let us address the elephant in this room.
It was all happened in the presence of Prime Minister, and Navy was there. And as Pushpana said, yesterday's Maafinama was not just in the good faith. Like without naming the Congress party, they said they went on abusing and insulting Veer Savarkar, but they went on fighting the case in the court. But they have a different samskar of not apologizing. Look at it.
Yes, I saw that headline in papers also where they said the PM Modi has apologized. Now, what will the opposition do as far as Veer Savarkar is concerned? Yes, Pushpraj, go ahead, please.
But I was saying that Prime Minister Modi has no locus standi to...
You stopped at the point where you're saying that why is Modi behaving like a neutral umpire?
That's what I'm saying. Prime Minister Modi has no locus standi to absolve himself of any role in this particular instance, because this statute was completed in less than 6 months, which is literally 2.5 years less than recommended industry standards. It was done in less than 6 months because PM Modi and the BJP government, the Mahayuti government, wanted to milk, and when I say milk, I mean misuse. They wanted to misuse Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's memory and legacy for their electoral benefits. So Prime Minister Modi cannot possibly absolve himself. He needs to first point the finger at himself. Secondly, what is the point of slapping FIRs on some junior engineers and sculptors and structural engineers? Why do you not start with the Chief Minister and the PWD Minister? Sack them immediately. It's a double-engine government. It is a PMO-controlled nation, very clearly. All their ministries all their state governments are clearly subservient to the Prime Minister's office. Let them sack. Had the guts to sack these two people. Similarly, as our previous panelist was saying, how can you possibly ignore the proximity of the sculptor and the structural engineer to the BJP leadership and the organization? You can't. So that is the second thing. And the third thing which I wanted to point out is that, have you noticed one thing, Niluji, and I was saying this in a previous panel where you were also there, in the last 10 years, the BJP government has built multiple offices for the RSS and the BJP. Not a single office in the entire country has leaked or collapsed. But think about the public infrastructure and the public memorials that they have constructed for our icons, for people who we respect. How many of them have collapsed? How, look at the Atal Setu bridge. Look at the Ayodhya temple. Look at the parliament, the new parliament building. Look at the Saptarishi statues at Mahakal Ujjain. Look at the number of bridges and highways that have been collapsing. Why is it that the BJP government has one set of laws and rules for their own infrastructure, what they claim as their infrastructure, and for the public and the nation? Do you realize that there is pervasive, blatant corruption in all the BJP double-engine governments? They take commission from our national icons. They take commission and profiteer from our public infrastructure. And then Prime Minister Modi has the guts to say, "Na khaunga, na khane dunga." I'm sorry. Koi khila bhi raha hai, koi kha bhi raha hai. And Prime Minister Modi needs to take accountability. An apology is not going to work. And this kind of whataboutery to connect him to Veer Savarkar is just not done. Does anyone in Maharashtra, please ask both our panelists here, does anyone connect even someone like Mahatma Gandhi or Pandit Nehru or Yashwantrao Chavan or any icon or even Sardar Patel with Shivaji Maharaj or Guru Nanak? What kind of nonsense is this? I mean, this kind of whataboutery to somehow say that one wrong is justifying the other wrong is not done. And Prime Minister Modi and the BJP are repeat offenders, Neeluji. I'll just point to one instance. Shivaji Maharaj's mukut, his feta, is worshipped at ceremonies. We put them and then we do this flower ceremony. We use this as a symbol of his memory in every public function. NCP leader, I don't want to name the leader, an NCP leader aligned with them, publicly put that mukut on his head, equating him with Shivaji Maharaj. Do you realize what kind of blatant insult this is to Marathi Asmita and Shivaji Maharaj? He has absolutely no locus standi to ask for an apology. I'm telling you, if he genuinely means it, first sack the CM, then sack the PWD minister, then let him not come to Maharashtra ever again. Then hum to dekhenge aage kya hota hai. Without that, it's just crocodile tears. Back to you,
all of this, yeah, Pushparaj, what you made some significant points, but Vivek, do you think that Modi at all is going to sack Eknath Shinde, or is he going to sack Devendra Fadnavis, or is he going to, really haul up the top officials of the Navy as well, that, what were they doing as far as the upkeep of the statue is concerned? And what is the message which has really gone down with the people of Maharashtra? Are the people of Maharashtra going to look at this as some kind of a corrupt, negligent, and an insensitive government?
Yeah, Nilu, there's no question of Modi, seeking answers from anyone. Because if there is anyone who needs to answer many questions, it is Mr. Modi himself. Because this statue has fallen not because of any undue haste by the officials themselves, but they were made to, take it up within 3 months or 4 months because the Prime Minister was in a haste to inaugurate that statue. So it's always with the eye of some political gain that Mr. Modi has been inaugurating so many projects for the last 10 years. We have seen how he has, inaugurated virtually every Vande Bharat train that has been put on rails. So, and what has happened because of that Vande Bharat train, it was designed to travel with a speed of 180 kilometers per hour. But since we don't have any tracks which can take that kind of a speed, it was put on the regular tracks. And for that, the other regular trains were made to stop. And Vande Bharat train got the priority. And because of that, so many other trains have been getting late over the last so many years. So this is the kind of haste which Mr. Modi has caused himself. So how is it that Mr. Modi will ask questions about that to the officials? Because the officials were told that you have to get it done within a particular time frame because Mr. Modi wants to inaugurate it. So Mr. Modi loses any moral, legal, ethical right to ask questions about why this statue fell, because it was made in haste because of his insistence. So to that question, I think the answer is Mr. Modi will not ask any questions about why it happened, and he will not. There are not going to be any heads which are going to roll in Maharashtra because they're all together in this crime. I mean, they have all done it together. There's nothing, you cannot say that this person who was given the contract for constructing that statue was given that opportunity out of some legal considerations. It was out of turn, completely out of turn responsibility that this person was given, because he was very close to, proximate to a leading politician's son, and that is why he was given this opportunity. And he was not experienced, he's very young, and he's still missing. I mean, I just read somewhere that police are looking out for him. So where is he? Where is this guy? Is he a hardened criminal? Where has he gone? Where is he hiding? Or you have helped him hide? So, there are several questions. Mr. Modi's apology, you can welcome it, because over the last 10 years, we have seen Mr. Modi brazen out everything and apologize for nothing that has gone wrong in this country. For the first time, he has apologized. So let's welcome it. So, ab aaya hai oot pahad ke niche. That is the kind of saying that goes. So that is how, because Mr. Modi sees that there are elections in Maharashtra which are just about 2-3 months away. So he had to do it. When Ram Mandir was leaking, he did not apologize because there was no elections around. It happened after the elections. If the leakage in Ram Mandir had to happen before the elections, he would have apologized. There were so many other infrastructure projects that have really crumbled, but Mr. Modi did not apologize for anything, because all those projects were inaugurated in haste because of Mr. Modi's insistence. So if there is anyone who has to take the blame entirely for such a tragedy, then it is Mr. Modi. So, but then elections will show how much the people of Maharashtra have taken this seriously. I think they're not left even with a fig leaf now to go to the elections. They have become complete. In Hindi, they say, Raja puri tarah se nanga ho gaya. So that is exactly what has happened to Mr. Modi and his followers and his government in Maharashtra. 2-3 months down the line, they have rolled out this Ladli Behna scheme. In Hindi, as they say, in Marathi they say Ladki Behin. They have rolled out this scheme solely because they know that they have completely lost traction with the people of Maharashtra, with the voters of Maharashtra. And the only thing they can now salvage the situation from going worse is to bribe the people. And this bribery scheme they have rolled out because of that consideration. I think the fall of Shivaji's statue, Shivaji, who is the icon for everyone in Maharashtra. I mean, there are no two ways about it. The fall of Shivaji's statue will kind of neutralize any gain that this government is going to make with these bribery schemes. So the situation is very, very tough, and the BJP and Mr. Modi have themselves to blame for it. Nilu.
Sanjay, I'll want to ask you about this criminal PIL which has been filed in the Bombay High Court. Now, it has sought action against PWD officials, and it is also talking about a CID or an SIT. Do you think that the court will intervene in a matter like this, and it'll order an inquiry, maybe at that level?
Nilu, I will take you just a week before, on 22nd August, the same PWD had come out with a written in a black and white saying that how the situation is getting murkier when it comes to this statue, how there the rusting which is taking place, the nuts and bolts which have been fitted into it are of a weak character, and this will definitely have a cascading effect. So I will take it forward. If really court goes into such kind of technical flaws, quote unquote, attached with the criminal kind of an intention, then I think court will have to institute or order, further inquiry, or maybe not just leave with the government's these two committees which will go into that, but it may order its own SIT to look into it. The another aspect is that,
is it true somewhere that the Navy had informed the state government? I was randomly reading somewhere that apparently the Navy officials had informed the state government. Is that true?
Absolutely. It was not just a Navy official. That's what I'm saying. One set of this thing was from a Navy, which were assigned, as all the time Chief Minister, DCMs, as well as PWD Minister have been saying, it is not our job. Navy has done it. But on the other hand, PWD, which is a kind of a nodal department in Maharashtra to take care of such kind of statues and whatnot, the same department is also bringing out such kind of laws. I think both, if we will merge together, the High Court will definitely have to take a serious note of it and go ahead, maybe ordering an SIT or criminal further action for negligence or a kind of a corruption also. I think we'll have to wait how the arguments take place.
Right. So, in the end, Vivek, is all this really going to backfire on the Mahayuti government? And things might really get difficult for Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde now to even control all of this. Despite Modi's apology, how will the people in Maharashtra react to this? And is this some kind of a threshold moment from which BJP cannot wriggle out at all?
Yeah, absolutely. It will backfire because the evidence comes from the manner in which Mr. Modi has come out with an apology. Modi is not a person to apologize, and because he has chosen to apologize for this incident, it shows that he knows that there is a potential of this incident having, to backfire against the Mahayuti in the coming elections. He knows that, and that is why he has apologized. So it will backfire, no matter how much Mr. Modi kind of genuflects in front of Shivaji's statue, or how much he apologizes, how profusely he apologizes. But it will backfire because it has already caught the people's imagination, and people are very angry about it. Already, the lingering effect of the 2024 Lok Sabha election is there. There were issues about which the people were already angry with Mahayuti, and now with the statue of an icon like Shivaji falling in this manner, sheer because of the corruption that the people who were involved in the making of the statue have indulged in, the people will definitely look at this as a very, very guiding issue to vote in the forthcoming elections, and the brunt will be borne by the Mahayuti, definitely, Nilu.
All right, so now I'll come for the concluding comments to Pushpraj. So, Pushpraj, what would you say to this entire thing? There is a criminal PIL in the Bombay High Court. There is also a simultaneous technical committee, but we are not sure what all aspects is it going to look into. Then you have an apology, which is almost, it seems like a drama which is laced in hypocrisy. So, how is it really going to end up in? And how do you see this situation unfolding ultimately?
Let's not look too much into this non-apology apology, because that's what it is. It is a political calculation. It is not an apology. It's not a heartfelt apology. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, let's not get bogged down into this technical committee, joint technical committee. None of this. It's all designed to obfuscate and divert the issue, or divert our attention. Keep our focus on the ball. Where does the buck stop? It stops with the CM and the PWD minister. Who is the one who forced the CM and the Mahayuti government to expedite the construction and inauguration of the statue? The Prime Minister's office. Why are they blaming the Navy now when they misused the Navy on December 4th to launch this statue? They need to take the buck. They need to take the blame for this, right? So the thing is this, there is a very famous saying in Hindi, Akal ka tera man, terwa mahina. This is what it is. No matter what this government does, there are some issues that are so culturally sensitive that they completely overwhelm every other issue. And if the Mahayuti government had an excellent track record, if they genuinely had been an elected government, not a stolen government, if they had delivered on Roti Kapda Makan, Sadak Bijli Pani and Jaan Jahan Jeevika, and still made the mistake of doing this scam, because that's what it is. And this statue, the Shivaji Maharaj's statue had collapsed. They would have still lost the election. But ironically, and the bitter reality is that this government has had one failure after another. Firstly, there was the Badlapur incident. Secondly, there is a record unemployment. Thirdly, there is a scam in the MPSC. Fourthly, there is now this scam of this minister who's diverted land for the OBC. Then there is the collapse of the Shivaji Maharaj statue. This government can't do anything right. They're just going to shoot themselves in the foot. It is now every man for himself in the alliance. And I can take great pride, schadenfreude pleasure in seeing this alliance try to push each other on the bus. Ajit Pawar ji is trying to distance himself from the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Shinde ji is trying to blame the Navy. BJP is trying to put both of them under the bus. This is not an alliance. This is now a bunch of warring tribes. The Mahavikas Agadi has to just, I mean, today there are people saying on the street that aap patthar ko bhi khada kar do. You put a stone instead of as a candidate against the Mayuti government, the stone is going to win that election. It is that bad. Please understand, this election is going to be a record wipeout.
Right. But yeah, you're saying that this election is heading towards a wipeout. But one quick question which I missed, I'll come to you, Vivek. That, I was reading Fadnavis's statement, Devendra Fadnavis, Pushparaj to you, and he said that the artist in the Navy could not have preempted the speed and the saltiness of the winds. Now, I was just reading a comment, and it just struck me that, and there are several comments of people saying that, now the BJP government is hell-bent on demeaning its own Navy. Do you see that in that light?
Two things here. Two very quick points here. Firstly, are we really saying that for the past 350, 400 years, there have been rulers who have built forts on the seafort? There are statues that Prime Minister Nehru has inaugurated on the seafront. There is a Shivaji Maharaj statue at the gate of India. All of these have stood the test of time. They've all weathered storms. They've all weathered salt. They've all weathered humidity. They still survive. Please stop fooling the public. You have committed a sin. It is a scam. आपने पैसा चोरी किया है. You basically cut corners in this statue. You did not go through the structural engineer. You basically violated your own art directorate's norms. There is the May 2017 GR Article 4 clearly states that any kind of memorial has to be cleared by the art directorate. The director of the art directorate, Rajiv Mishra, has gone on record to say that we gave clearance only for a 6-feet statue, and that also a clay model, and that he did not know anything about the fact that the government is going to construct a 35-feet statue. That is the first thing. Stop hoodwinking the public. The Marathi Manus ain't buying whatever the BJP is. The second thing, how can you blame the Navy? These guys have constructed the INS Virat. They have constructed INS Kadamba. They have constructed n number of battleships and submarines that withstand heavy winds in the sea. And you think they can't construct one statue that can withstand 45 kilometers per mile winds on a seafront? I mean, coconuts stand stronger because of this, that kind of air. What kind of nonsensical argument is this? And one BJP minister has gone on to say, "ये तो अच्छा हुआ है, अब और बड़ी मूर्ति बनाएंगे." Are they mad?
Statue.
I mean, do you realize how culturally and politically this is really shooting themselves in the foot? Honestly speaking, this is like Kangana Ranaut magnified 10 times over in Maharashtra. Mahavikas Agadi, all political commentators can just sit quietly at home. The BJP, the Shiv Sena Shinde faction and Ajit Pawar faction will destroy themselves in this election. We don't have to campaign also. It's that bad.
Right. That's a big statement coming from you, Pushparaj, that the Mahavikas Agadi, it seems that doesn't have to campaign. Things are falling naturally in favor of them. Where is all this heading to? Yes, Vivek, you were raising your hand. And then I'll
Niru, I just wanted to end this debate on a different note by spelling apology in a different way. I think we should spell this apology as APPALLOGY.
Okay. Okay, but as things stand right now, we do not know what kind of an inquiry is going to be instituted, but this episode will definitely seems to be backfiring on the BJP. You have the Prime Minister who is apologizing. You have statements coming in from the BJP ministers. They're all in a complete disarray. They don't know what they are talking. And as Pushpa just said, it's like Kangana Ranaut magnified many times. And I don't know really where is it all really heading to. Is it heading for a complete wipeout of the Mahayuti government? We have to wait and watch for that. Thank you so much, Sanjay Jog, Vivek Deshpande, Pushparaj. Thank you so much for coming. And one appeal to the viewers.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our channel, send us a feedback, and stay tuned.